Shades from Sylvie. Living men turned into zombies. The old crones lost not just her son, but her wits as well. Guys, the Syldi, this is a big deal. This is our Sildine subterrane that we're going to in 625. So, like, this is one of the handful of references to it. It's a big deal. It's all becoming clear to me now. The dear old woman's testimony has confirmed that which I had suspected from the start. Like a zombie picking away at its rotting flesh, Hildibrand, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire, has peeled away the foul scab of uncertainty to reveal the truth within. Open your ears, feast your minds on the fruit of my flawless deduction. Ahem. Our phantom thief is a phantom indeed. A wayward spirit caught between the realm of the living and the dead for nigh on centuries since meeting a tragic end on the battlefield. As such, our course of action is clear. We must placate this tortured soul, that it might abandon its vengeful vendetta to travel to the next life in peace. But what is this true nature of Spectre's grievances? Without this knowledge, we cannot hope to assuage its rancor. Let us begin our search at the Thaumaturge's Guild. Doubtless the tomes there contain a wealth of knowledge on the ill blood between the sibling nations. Notwithstanding the abject stupidity of everything else that came out of your mouth, some knowledge of Sylvie might serve us well. Go research as you will, and do take as much time as you need. You can count on me, Inspector Briardine. Whatever knowledge is to be gleaned at the guild, it shall not escape my inspector's eye. Okay. Let's do it. Let's go, go, go. To the Thaumaturge's Guild. So this is the final chapter, right? These chapters have been long. It's absolutely wild to me how much there is. Absolutely crazy. Especially for how old this content is.
Gods be good. You're the adventurer who saved me back at the ruins. Researching the ancient feud between Udar and Syldi, are you? Why, I'm pleased to say I have more than a passing familiarity with the ancient history. To understand the history of the sibling nations, one must go back further still, to the birth of their mother nation, Belladaya. The fifth astral era was an age of untold wonders, when the arcane arts burgeoned, the great civilizations that commanded such powers flourished. The age of enlightenment would not last, however. Power bred avarice, and the avarice bred resentment. It culminated in the War of the Magi, which brought the great floods of the sixth umbral calamity, which in turn swallowed once proud nations, and left a battered wasteland in its wake. Mages were reviled and persecuted for having caused this catastrophe, with many forced to leave their homelands or face death. It was a small band of those survivors that found their way to Thanalan, where they would found the nation of Belladaya some 8 centuries agone. Imagine a government of mages, by mages, and for mages. What wonders might have wrought had Belladayan civilization survived to this very day. Alas, this was not to be.
Oh my god. You don't say. It's not every day someone comes to our halls to research the Syldi. A fellow student of history, though, I more than welcome the conversation. Belladian civilization flourished in relative peace until twin sons were born to the royal family. The two were fierce rivals, and when they came of age and their father passed, each one claimed that he was the rightful heir to the throne. With neither son willing to relinquish his claim, they agreed to split their kingdom into two, forming the twin nations of Ul'dah and Sil'Di. But not unlike the two proud princes, the sibling nations developed a penchant for rivalry.
Greetings, traveler. You would learn of the war between Ul'dah and the fallen Sultanate of Sil'Di. It would be my pleasure to enlighten you. These two city-states coexisted for several generations until the bad blood between them boiled over, culminating in an outright war. As you might deduce from the persistent state of affairs, Ul'dah emerged victorious, leaving its once proud sibling nation in smoldering ruins. As the stories tell it, the battles fought between the sister nations were the stuff of nightmares. In a desperate attempt to overcome Ul'dah's superior numbers, Sil'Dine alchemists devised a most horrific stratagem, employing a frightful formula known as the Traitor's Spurn. They brought their fallen warriors back as undead soldiers. Some theories have it that they even employed the potion on those of the living who were too weak or wounded to fight. Sends shivers up the spine just thinking about it, no? Oh, is it truly a crowning glory that our fair nation, our forebearers, were able to emerge victorious against these horrors?
It is. I don't really know how we beat that.
What's that, you say? You seek knowledge of the bad blood between Ul'dah and Sil'Di? I suppose I can spare a moment or two. But take good notes. I'm not fond of repeating myself. 2 scales, one of gold, one of silver. The gold of Ul'dah weighing prosperity and power. The silver of Sil'Di weighing knowledge and power. But the power sought by the two nations differed greatly. Yes, greatly indeed. The power wrought by Ul'dah prosperity was that of justice and good, while the power wrought of Sil'Di knowledge was horrific beyond belief. The power to rip the living soul out of a man and render him a mindless killing machine. On this matter the histories are clear, but riddle me this, my friend. Who writes the histories? And what does this say of the words writ within? Yes, truth can be elusive and fickle as the shifting sands. As one example, did you know in the war against Sil'Di, Ul'dah and the Amuljah warriors fought side by side? Likely you did not. And neither did I until I encountered a faded passage in an ancient text buried deep in our archives. And yet, in the histories read by the populace, you will see no mention of this most fascinating fact. Might it be that someone, at some time, deemed this particularly truth less than convenient? But I have said enough already.
Oh, snap. That's a big deal. I don't remember what his voice is from the Thaumaturge quest, so he just got a new one. My ever-loyal associate, tell me, what have you learned from your questioning of the scholars in these halls? I learned a lot. Indeed. As it happens, I have learned much the same. Let us take a moment to review, and allow my peerless powers of deduction to work their magic. A war of succession divides the great civilization of Beladiah, giving rise to sibling nations of Ul'dah and Sil'Di. The two nations coexist for some generations until the blood boils over, culminating in outright war. Daunted by Uldar's superior military might, Sildee employs their advanced alchemical knowledge to horrific ends, transforming their own citizens, alive and dead, into a fearsome undead legion. Yes, I believe I have it. The facts at hand have led me to one unassailable conclusion. Our phantom thief is a descendant of the doomed Sildee, who seeks vengeance against those who reduced his countrymen to slaving zombies. To pacify his soul and send him peacefully to the next world, there is but one course of action. We must find the Sildeen statesman who conceived this dreadful stratagem, and have him apologize to the thief in person for suffering what he has wrought.
A brilliant plan. Perhaps you'd like to go find yourself a shovel and dig this statesman out of his grave yourself? Leaving aside this nonsense of spirits and specters, it appears increasingly likely that our quarry shares some link to the Sildee. His garish garb is no doubt meant to evoke the silver scales of the fallen sultanate. This Sildeen connection would also serve to explain the rare knowledge of the Beladean relics our thief clearly possesses. But what of the murder victims? What common thread amongst them could have incurred the ire of our adversary? A few people in town spoke of a man sighted calling upon the victims in the past days. Those who saw him said he had a most frightened air about him.
Wait. Yes, it's coming to me. Of course. My keen investigator's senses ring out with a voice loud and clear. This man Miss Ellie speaks of just might know something. Or he might know nothing. One of the two.
You really should stop thinking so hard. You're like to strain a brain muscle. Miss Ellie, who is this man? Where might we find him? My sources identified the man as Guguria, a traveling merchant known to frequent Horizon. Shall we pay him a visit?
Onward. To Horizon. Upon hearing a report, Hildibrand proposes securing an apology from a doubtless long-dead Sildeen statesman as a means to appease a wayward soul that he believes the phantom thief-cum-murderer to be. Briardine dismisses this theory out of hand, while granting that the Sildeen connection is indeed worth exploring. As consulting inspector ponders the relationship between murder victims, Ellie shares rumors she heard about a man who was sighted trying to make contact with more than one of the victims while they still lived. Seek out this man, the traitor Guguria of Horizon, and to see what stories he may have to tell. Why are you all in my face? Alright. Ah! Found him.
Yes. If you've got business, make it quick. My time's too valuable to waste chatting with every stranger that passes by. Forgive us, good sir. My name is Ellie, a reporter with the mithril eye, never blinking, all-seeing. You know the rest. I was wondering if we could trouble you with just a few questions.
Was it for love or money that you killed him? Yes, you, the thief of many faces.
Me? Or thief? What's this nonsense? I don't know who you are, but I ain't got no time or the patience for this mummery. Now, if you'll excuse me, an all-important client awaits. I thought I recognized that voice.
Lady Derilda, well met indeed. Pray tell whatever brings you to these environs this fair morning.
Why, I live here, you ham-headed half-wit. Inspector Briardine, this is an unexpected pleasure. Do you have some business with my associate here, pray tell? Guguria,
We can discuss business after. Pray lend the inspector here, the handsome one, whichever assistance he requires.
Lord, Lady Dorilda, what about...
Ah, yes, my dear Mariah's namesday present. I had in mind the... one of the prize pieces from Eshtame's latest seasonal collection. You would be able to procure one for me, yes? Or shall I eliminate the middleman and make a trip to Uldar myself?
Whoa, 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 whoa! Easy. I can do it.
I'll say it just once more, Guguria. I expect you to give the inspector and his companions your full assistance. They, yes, even the stupid one, helped me regain something truly priceless. Yes, something more valuable than any mere trinket.
All right. I'll tell you what I know, but you didn't hear it from me, got it? I was looking into the killing on behalf of a client of mine. The thief's got himself some of that zombie dust. You know, the traitor's spawn, was it? And in this card speak of 5 victims. Got me thinking. Sildi, 5 victims. Aye, the Arbiters of Truth.
The Arbiters of Truth. I'm not familiar with the name.
Aye, well, if you would be, on account of them being something of a secret society and all. Influential personages of the Sultanate, you see, working from the shadows to keep false knowledge about Darcy conflict from reaching the ears of folks like you and me.
False knowledge? Pray tell. Just what sort of knowledge might that be?
Those balls! Don't make me say no more. I got a family to feed.
Very well. Just tell us one last thing. Who hired you and where can we find him?
Orb! His name's Orb! And when he heard what I said, he told me that he was gonna set sail for Limsa with his 5 best sellswords to guard his back. There. As he said, there was many prying eyes at the airship docks. Said he had a private ship docked and waiting for him at Vesper Bay. But remember, you didn't hear none of this from me.
This man, Hob, must be one of the killer's targets. Doubtless he also knows the identity of the remaining one.
Oh, I doubt that. They say the Arbiters are so secretive they don't even know each other's true identities. Now don't go asking me how all that works, but Orb's got a high-ranking friends in the brass plates. Once he heard the victim had been all zombified, he panicked. Guess he knew that he'd be next.
Well, thank you very much, my kind sir. Once again, the ancient Mandeville Art of Parley has procured for us a key morsel of knowledge. Let us seek out this Hob fellow and see what he can share with us. And let us hurry. The man's life is in danger, even as we speak.
Master Hob, is everything quite all right?
No! Stand back, Ellie!
Hunger, I hunger for your brains.
Damn! There's no saving the man. Jane, do what you must. Alright. Here we go. Here we go. Yes, my first-hand knowledge of zombies tells me this particular shade of green is unmistakably that of the undead. 'Twould seem there were a few moments late to the scene. A message, and then there was one. There it is again.
Is something the matter, Inspector?
Indeed, Nashu, there is. Ever since I picked up on the trail of the Phantom Thief, I've had this fleeting sense. A sense that someone, or something, is watching us.
The thief might be close at hand. We should be careful. For the moment, let us return and report our findings to Miss Phyllis. Secret society or no, knowing the identities of its members may yet lead us to the final victim. I, too, had best return to the Mithril Eye. Let us meet up again after. I shall see what clues I can uncover in the meantime. You'll do nothing of the sort, Miss Ellie. These streets are far too dangerous for you to walk alone. Inspector, I'll go with her.
If you insist, Nashu, then I give my leave. But pray be wary, not just the thief, but of Miss Ellie. She has quite the temper, as we both know.
That's just with you. You worthless imbecile. Miss Ellie, there is something I must tell you when this case is over. Be safe and promise me you won't attempt anything rash, as you did the time when the fiend took aim at my own life. Your life, Oh, Costa del Sol, yes, that was quite the ordeal, wasn't it? I'll be careful, I promise. I eagerly await the day when I may hear what it is you would share with me.
Ah, secret vow! Oh-ho! Consider my interest piqued as well, good Inspector. Now, let us be off. Miss Phyllis awaits our report.